What's going on, Jets fans? So the emotional high, still riding it, but I got a chance to rewatch the game, and here's 5 things I learned about the New York Jets. Number 1, the New York Jets have a top 3 defense in the NFL, confirmed in my opinion. And I'm not going to say it's the best Jets defense I've ever seen in my life, because I did once see a Rex Ryan-led defense beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady back-to-back in the playoffs. That's a high bar. But I do think what Ulbrich and Saleh have done, and you got to give credit to Joe Douglas for getting these players in here too, is as impressive of a turnaround I've ever seen on any Jets unit ever in my life. The New York Jets last year were ranked 31st in yards per play allowed. I think it's a pretty good barometer of how your defense is performing overall. Last year, 31st. We watched the games. That checks. It was bad. This year so far, they're tied for 3rd. That would be the biggest jump in league ranking in yards per play allowed since the stat was officially tracked in 2003. Absolutely unbelievable. They're top 10 against the run. They're top 10 against the pass. They're top 10 in sacks. They're top 10 in red zone. Last month, they've been great on third down as well. There's no weakness on this defense. They're deep, they're fast, they're physical, they're explosive. They force turnovers. Incredible. Number 2, and part of having an elite defense is the New York Jets are a playoff team. They are. Now, am I guaranteeing they make the playoffs? No, but it's officially a disappointment if they don't. Here's how it works. There aren't 7 teams better than us in our conference. There just aren't. And when you have a top 5 defense check and a top 5 special teams check, and you can run the football, league average in yards per carry, bleeding out the Buffalo Bills at our own will in the fourth quarter, and you can just get some grown-up quarterback play, which you saw from Zach Wilson in Buffalo, you're a playoff team. You're a playoff team. Jets are a playoff team. Whether we're comfortable with it or not, whether just let them grow, they're a young team. Good. Grow while making a wild card spot. That's how it works. Then you can go ahead and try and get the first championship in 50 years. But for right now, you're 6-3. Every single 6-3 team should feel like they're a playoff team. And Robert Saleh and CJ Mosley and Braxton Berrios, they said at the beginning of the year that was the goal. Why should my standard be any lower than theirs when if the season ends today, we'd be a 5 seed? The Jets are a playoff team. Number 3, CJ Mosley is still a damn good 3-down linebacker in the NFL. And you may say, we already knew that. CJ Mosley is like top 3 in the NFL in tackles. Yeah, I knew CJ was a dog. I knew CJ was still a tackling machine, but I got to be honest, there's been some times like on third down and pass coverage, especially against New England, where I'm like, oh, looks like he's lost a little bit of a step. But he's just too valuable. Everything that he's lost in terms of his athleticism, he's lost a little bit of a step. He has. But he's always in the right spot. He's the quarterback of the defense, and he is physical. Laying the wood on that running back coming across the middle. Getting everybody in the right spot, making changes, making adjustments. And of course, you think of third downs as it's a coverage down. But how often are first downs given up on 3rd and long because of a missed tackle or a miscommunication? And CJ Mosley helps you there. So he can't come off the field, ever. And I feel silly for ever even thinking he should. Number 4, Garrett Wilson is a wide receiver 1. Is he a top 10 receiver in the league? I don't know. But you can feature him as the number 1 wide receiver on the offense of a winning football team. Check confirmed. Last 2 weeks, 16 total catches for over 230 yards per scrimmage. Yeah. He's the real deal. And number 5, maybe it should have been number 1. The Jets have, is Zach Wilson a franchise quarterback? To be honest, I still have no idea. But the kid has one of the most important traits of being a franchise quarterback. And you may say the arm talent, the athleticism, the things we've known since we drafted him. Uber talented. No one's ever denied that. But it's the resilience. It's the resilience. Look at franchise quarterbacks around the NFL, and it's not the Patrick Mahomes story, the silver spoon. It's not that. You got a bunch of guys from small schools and walk-ons and transfers and late-round picks, and you got to bounce back when you're knocked down. And that's what Zach Wilson did. That's why this performance was so important, because of how the Patriots game went. And not because he lit it up, not because he was amazing, but he fixed all the things we were complaining about from last week. He fixed them all. Boom, in a week. So the coachability, the resilience, that speaks volumes about Zach Wilson, more so than him completing whatever percent of his passes. That was big to me. Those are 5 things I learned about the New York Jets, and we'll be talking about our team soon.